What's happening, guys? Aaron from UAVISUALS back with another video, and this time we're going to be talking about the Mavic Pro 2 and the Flymore Kit. Basically, I'm going to take you through all the steps you need from starting off. Now, I know you want to get out there and fly ASAP, capture that amazing sunset, but bear with me, stay with me, because there's a few things that you need to know about setting up. It does take a while, especially if you've got 4 batteries. It will take about 4 hours. You need to have a DJI login, you need to calibrate your IMU, your gimbal, compass. It's going to be a bit of a long video, so grab a coffee, grab a beer or a wine, put your feet up and enjoy. If you want to skip ahead, I'll put some time codes down in the description below so you can jump straight to those particular sections of the video. Let's get stuck into it. I cannot wait any longer. Let's do it. I'm not going to do a full unboxing because there's about 1 billion videos out there at the moment, but the drone that I've gone with is the Mavic 2 Pro, not the Zoom. I've also picked up the Mavic 2 Flymore Kit. Now this I can't recommend highly enough. If you don't know what it is, it essentially enables you to fly more. It gives you a whole bunch of extra accessories such as propellers, 2 extra batteries, which is about 45 minutes extra flight time, a bag. You've got a car charger and this cool little gadget here. It allows you to use your battery as a mobile charger, so like a power bank. Brilliant idea. So first up, I think we will start off with the bad boy here, the Mavic Pro 2. Let's go through the actual aircraft, shall we? So the drone, oh, look at it. Oh gosh, the smell is amazing. Is that weird? So to open the drone up, the first thing you need to do is the front 2 arms. So you move the right one and then the left one out like so, and then the legs underneath. So they fold out, down and out. There's your drone here. At the front, these 2 things are your vision positioning systems. These will stop you from crashing into things. It'll pick up trees and walls and whatnot, and it will make your drone kind of come to a halt. Best thing about this drone is now there's sensors all over the place. So there's some underneath. There's the vision positioning system at the back as well. So if you're flying backwards and doing those cool dronies, no more crashes. And also there's one on the right and one on the left. When you get your drone for the first time, what I recommend is you just have a quick look around the exterior, make sure there's no cuts or scratches or dents, because I mean thousands of these are pumped out of the factory every day and they're just chucked around on the plane and in transit. So if there's any issues with the drone when you pick it up, now's a good time to check, and then you can obviously make a warranty claim or send it back, DOA. Now on the top here is your battery. The battery sits nice and snug here. When it arrives, it's actually, you need to activate it by charging it. So it's in hibernation mode. So when you press the button, nothing actually happens. To release the battery, there's 2 clips on the sides here. Push that together and then lift straight up. And then if you have a look inside here, it's just some information about the drone's serial number and so on. Try and always have a battery in there just to keep these elements nice and dry. And so put the battery back in, it's just the same as you took it out, but you just slide it straight through. You don't have to push the sides down, but just push firmly at the top, listen to the click, and it's in. Now on the side of the aircraft, on the right side, you have a little latch here, which is, it looks like it's a USB-C port. This would be for software upgrades and so on. Now on the side here, you've got a small little button. You don't need to press or use this unless you have lost signal or you need to pair up the drone with your controller. So it should already be paired up when you get your aircraft. But right now we don't need to touch the right side of the drone. What you will be using is on the left side, which is where your micro SD card lives. What I recommend is you get a 32 gig or 64 gig, nice and big, because these files are getting larger and larger and larger, especially if you're shooting in 4K and at a high bit rate. Yeah, it's going to chew up a lot of your cards. Another cool feature about the Mavic Pro 2 is if you forget to put your SD card in your drone when you go out to fly, there is 8 gigs of internal storage. Now, it's not enough for a full commercial shoot, but it might be enough to capture that amazing sunset, come home, grab the raw files, chuck it into Lightroom or Photoshop, and away you go. So there's 8 gigs, just remember that. So to open the camera up, there's a little flap underneath here. Flick the flap up, and what you need to do is slide the dome or the case pretty much straight out. So in a forward direction, like that. Bend it down and then slide out. Now to put your dome back in, or to put the case back in, make sure the camera is lined up forward. Slowly slide it in like that until it clips in. And then at the top, get the 2 notches in, and then you can start sliding down and locking the bottom in. A little bit tricky, but try not to rush that process, because if you damage your gimbal, and I know there's been a few issues as well with the gimbal at the moment with the first batch, it could be a costly fix. Now, another thing you should do is take the stickers off. For those who love having stickers on and that amazing feeling of removing stickers, now is your time. Oh yeah. So the stickers need to be taken off. There's a couple at the front where the vent is. Remove those, that's just to protect the dust and so on in transit. If you don't remove the stickers, there may be a chance of the drone overheating because it's blocking some of the really important air vents which allow the air to move in and cool the motors down. Let's talk about the controller. This is your controller. At the front here are your antennas. Make sure when you fly you have your antennas in a slight angle like this. All right, so underneath here you've got the clamps. This is where your mobile device goes in. You can use, it's mainly built for mobile phones, but you can get an accessory where you can attach your iPad to it. Now on the side here is another USB clip, and it should come with a cable already attached. And the cable that's attached here is for an iPhone. You can replace this with whatever device you have, whether it's a Galaxy phone or another iPhone or an iPad. You can swap out the cables there. And to the right of the controller, you've got 3 modes of flying. The S stands for sport, the P stands for positioning, and the T stands for tripod modes. What you need to do is have it on the P. The P is the positioning one, which is what you need. Positioning basically uses all the sensors of your drone plus GPS to make sure your drone is steady and in position. If you flick it to S, it turns the sensors off and you basically can fly like crazy. It's a sports mode, so you can hit up to 70 k's an hour, but remember, higher chance of crashing because your sensors are off and you're flying very fast. Tripod mode, all the controls are kind of like dumbed down, so it will enable you to get really, really smooth cinematic shots, slow movements, or even good night photography. Now also underneath here you will find your little sticks. So they're tucked away nicely in here. Pull it out and screw it onto the top here. Underneath here you've got these 2 buttons here, which are the C1 and C2 buttons. You can customize these buttons to do various things. For me, I like to have this toggle to the camera so it flips up or down really quickly. So if I want to get a cool top-down shot, I can hit that button there very quickly and the camera will go boom, straight down. Hit that. It takes a shot and then that's it. The one on the right, I like to bring up Google Maps. So I know if I kind of lose sight of the drone or I'm not sure if I'm at the beach or creeping up to the road, I can hit that and then Google Map application will pop up so I can see. On the front here, you've got the 5D button. So these are more buttons that you can customize. On the right is the pause button. If you freak out, you hit pause and it kind of breaks your drone no matter what you're doing, or if you're using an automatic feature, it'll just hold the drone in position. So this is the return to home button. Basically what it does is it triggers the return to home feature or function of the drone where it'll fly up and come back and land exactly where you took off from. Really handy. Now, if you just got the Mavic Pro 2 by itself without the Flymore Kit, this is your charger here. Obviously this goes straight to the power. Plug that in to the side. like so. This goes into the power socket, and on this end is where you connect your battery up. Very simple, just connect it like so. Leave it in a nice, safe place. Don't put it near a fireplace or anything flammable. Remember, these are LiPo batteries. They are pretty dangerous. And best practice is to make sure you're in the room while it's charging, just in case anything happens. But they're actually quite smart at the moment, and they will stop charging when it either overheats or reaches its full capacity, so it can't overcharge, allowing you to essentially leave it on charge overnight, and in the morning it should be sweet. When you hit the button at the moment, because it's in hibernation mode, nothing will happen. You need to plug it into the wall, get a bit of charge, and then it will start to light up. So on this battery, right at the top where the button is, there's actually 4 lights which will glow green. This is like your battery indicator. So if you've got a full battery and it's fully charged, you'll have all the lights lit up. If there's half charged, there'll be 2, and if there's 1, there'll be 1, obviously. Whack it on charge, leave it for about an hour, and then you can start your other process. Okay, so in the Flymore pack, as I mentioned, you get a cool strap that you can attach to your bag. You also get a charging hub. So the charging hub allows you to charge up to 4 batteries at a time. Now remember, this isn't charging 4 batteries at the same time. It goes through a cycle. So it charges 1 first, then the second, then the third, then the fourth. So if you've got 4 empty batteries, you're looking at about 4 hours ahead of you before the whole thing is fully charged. So you also get 2 sets of spare propellers, which will come in very handy, just in case you crash into a tree or something gets chipped off. Try to stay away from the carbon fiber ones. Yeah, they all say they have great lift and it's strong or whatever, but the carbon fiber propellers could actually cut your finger off, and it's very dangerous. You don't want to be flying one of those in public. This is the car charger. So I believe it'll work the same way. Plug this straight into your cigarette lighter in your car. You can charge 1 battery up at a time, or you can plug it into the bottom of the hub and go through the 4 batteries. But once again, it'll take 4 hours. So unless you're on a road trip and you'll be driving for 4 hours, then yeah, the whole thing will get charged. This is one of my favorite little gadgets from the Flymore Kit. Clip it straight into one of the batteries, and there's 2 USB sockets here. You can use this as a power bank. Absolutely amazing. Well done, DJI, once again. And lastly, you get the bag. Let's talk about the bag a little bit. It's quite deep actually, and you'll be surprised. Everything that you see in the Flymore pack and the Mavic 2 box, you can fit into this. So the propellers that you get with your drone, 2 of them will be identical and the other 2 will be identical as well. These need to go on your drone in a specific way. It's really important that you get this right. So if you look carefully in the middle of the propeller, you will see that some have been marked with a small white ring around, and the other ones are just blank or black. Now what you need to do is line up the white ring with the white motor on your drone. Very simple. Literally put it over the top through the hole, push down and right, and it should lock into place. So that's the white one. And when you put the black propeller on the black motor, it'll be the same, but you'll be twisting it left. Now it's pretty hard to get wrong. What I recommend is once you get it on, you think it's right, you just give it a quick spin, pull it up and down a little bit, just to make sure that it's all G. All right, so that's the basic exterior run through of what you get in your Flymore pack and in your Mavic Pro 2 pack. While the drone batteries are charging, we need to create a DJI account. Grab your phone and I'll walk you through it. All right, now, unfortunately, you'll only be able to do this when one of your batteries is charged fully, because you'll need to start up your drone and then use the app to log in. So, lucky we did this earlier. The app you need to get is called DJI GO 4. Don't get the other one. The other one is just called DJI GO. That's for the older drones and Osmos and so on. Hit the app and then go through the process of signing up. Once you've signed up, you will get to another screen. It gives you some instructions on how to set it up. Turn on the aircraft and the remote controller. Sweet. So to turn on the aircraft, there's two presses. There's a short press followed by a long press. Now, before you even do that, make sure two things. You take the propellers off just in case you accidentally start it up and you're in the lounge room, freak out, and it hits your cat or something. And also remove the gimbal guard, because when you initialize the drone, it does a little dance and you could damage the actual gimbal or the camera. So let's do this. So short press, followed by a long press, and then release. Does a little gimbal dance, makes the DJI noise, and the same thing goes with your controller. So the power button at the top right, press that once short, followed by a long press, and it will say connecting, then you'll get a message saying connection successful, hit complete, and now you'll get the splash screen. The splash screen, if you've connected it correctly, you should have a little image of the actual drone that you've connected. So in this case, we've got the Mavic Pro 2. Excellent. Hit activate, hit next. Beginner mode, I recommend it if you're just starting off. Then you need to confirm your account. The aircraft information is linked to this account. So what happens is every time you fly, all the information from the drone gets logged. I'm talking like the telemetry of it, the wind, your IMU status, the gimbal, the movement, the altitude of your drone, absolutely everything gets logged into your account, which is actually a good thing, because if your drone malfunctions in the air and there's an issue that you need to make a warranty claim, for example, then you've got evidence and proof right there. Now there's another thing called the DJI Care Refresh. This is a pretty handy thing if you're starting off and you're a bit nervous about flying. What it is, it's basically like insurance. So if you crash your drone, whether it's user error, water damage, or the signal interference or whatever, you can actually get 2 free replacements over the period of 2 years. Pretty handy stuff. Costs a couple of $100, I think, but you've only got 48 hours to register this. I'm just going to skip over this, but if you wanted to do it, that's where you do it. The last screen, please restart the aircraft. It'll do its little dance again, and we should be good to go. Woo! Mavic 2 successfully activated. What you need to make sure you have is the latest software update for the drone, the battery, the controller, and your app. So there's a few things that need to be synced up. If there's inconsistencies in the firmware, you might run into a few issues when you're flying, or a few extra bugs that you really don't want to have. Okay, so I'm going to slide to update. It might take a little while. Go grab yourself another coffee or a wine. I told you this is going to take a little while. 20%, come on. But I just want to fly, Mom, I just want to fly. While it's updating, make sure you follow us on Instagram, aaron.visuals or UAVISUALS, for some droney goodness. Oh, here we go, it's updated. Boom, done. So update is complete. What you'll need to do now is hit go fly. When the drone comes to you, most of the time it's kind of been bashed and thrown around. It might even be around heavy metallic objects and things like that, which will mess up the compass, and it could interfere with the IMU and other bits and pieces. So what we need to do is calibrate 3 things. The first one is the IMU, the other one is the compass, and the third one is the gimbal. So we just need to make sure that everything is nice and calibrated and clean and good to go for a first flight. Go up to the top where it says main controller, or the little symbol of the drone. Go to advanced settings, then sensors, and what you can see here at the top, you got IMU and compass. Now the IMU is basically the brain of the drone. It controls, it has the gyroscope and your accelerometer and all this kind of good stuff there. And this will give you a good indication of the status of your drone. At the moment, it looks like it's okay, but once again, let's just calibrate it and make sure it's all sweet. Click on Calibrate IMU. First up, fold the drone up as you see here, so the legs go under. Then hit start, and away we go. Make sure you don't touch the table or the drone or make any movements, because it's going to pick up the tiny little vibrations. Next up, we have to put the drone as you see it, like this, on its side. There we go. Now once that's done, flashes green, switch it over to the next side. Let it keep going. Once you hear that beep, then it should be sweet. It flashes green. Go up again like this to the side, as you can see. Looking good so far. And then on its back. So just like that. Right, once you're done, click back to camera and we're gonna go into compass. It's actually best practice to do it in the field, but let's just do it anyway. I'll show you how to do it while we've got the drone here. Hit the compass button and then go calibrate compass. Hit start. And now what happens is it's going to give you some instructions. We're supposed to lift it up and spin it around on its axis until it gives you the next instruction. So the next instruction is to flip it on its side and do the same thing. So just keep in mind that it needs to be as if there's a pin going through the middle of the drone and you're spinning it around. All right. So now that's done. It's saying to restart the aircraft. Short press followed by long. The message is saying SD card's been inserted. Excellent, it's picked it up. Do you want to switch the storage location to the SD card? Yes, we do. If we say no, then it's going to save into the internal memory, which only has 8 gigs. Now let's go back up to the 3 buttons on the top right. We're going to look for the gimbal calibration. So this is under the little camera icon. Select that, and down where it says gimbal auto calibration, click that, hit OK. And what you'll see now is the drone will perform a little calibration. Press OK, don't touch the table or the camera or the drone, just let it sit and do its thing. And then you get the tick. All right guys, whew, long video. All right, so once you've calibrated the IMU, the gimbal and the compass, and you also made sure that the SD card's in, formatted, and it's using the SD card, not the internal storage, then this is it. This is your time. You're ready to go for your first flight. I'll do another video on it, but right now, I've got some work to do. Signing off. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell button for more videos. I'll see you in the next one.